Welcome back to the Vertu YouTube channel. We're in the windiest spot ever in the UK because it looks really nice. And what else that looks really nice is this. The Mazda 6e is absolutely stunning, and it's going to be in the UK soon doing lots of numbers, I think, because how good does it look? Let's do the talking on the inside because I can't hear myself. Before we talk about anything else, let's talk about money, because that's pretty important as well. Now, this car is available from £38,995 today, the day of filming, and that's of course from a Vertu dealership. So get down to Vertu and test drive this, because I just like sitting in it at the moment. Okay, we're super lucky to be in this Mazda 6e, and of course you've noticed that it's a left-hand drive that we've got here today. The UK version will have some different bits as to what's already been launched with the Mazda 6e, and I'll update you on those in a moment, mainly to do with the charging. But let's talk about the looks first of all. I keep doing this with saloon vehicles. I love the BYD seal. And of course, we've got to compare this to the Tesla Model 3. It's kind of the benchmark. And I think it stands up to those competition. It looks absolutely stunning. I think Mazda, they don't design bad cars, do they? They only do good ones. And this has got all the grooves and edges in all the right places, and it is a substantial vehicle. This is 4.9 meters long. I really like the light bar at the back. I think that looks particularly nice, and also the little spoiler that sort of flips up, just an added touch of sportiness to, which is a bit of an executive car. The front, again, it's got a very, very nice front end. I do liken this to a lot of the other sort of electric saloons that are out there. It's a crowded market, and it seems to be the designers have got it right for most of them. The Ioniq 6 that we did recently and the BYD seal, both of them look very, very nice, and I think this is very much in keeping. Is it my favourite? Oh, I'll let you decide, I think. Let's talk about boot space, because it's super important. Big car, big executive saloons needs a big boot, and it has got one. 460 litres of boot space. Absolutely fantastic. And we've also got 72 litres in the front, or shall I say in a frunk. Everyone's calling it a front trunk, so I'm just telling you it's called a frunk. Yeah, cool. 72 litres with 460 litres, and obviously the 72 is ideal for those charging cables, not wires. I almost said wires. Let's talk interior. Right, a couple of trim levels. We've got Takumi, we've got Takumi Plus. We are in the Plus, which means we get this stunning sort of tan leather and suede material. There's no hard plastic in sight, and I think it's a little bit of a throwback, this interior. I think it's absolutely stunning. It reminds me sort of the yesteryear interiors of old saloon vehicles, and I quite like it. Being a man who's 40 plus, I really quite like it. It might be a little bit different for some other people, but yeah, personal preference is gets a thumbs up from me. And when I talk about materials, as I mentioned, there's no hard plastic anywhere to be found. There's a little bit here, but even that's got a little bit of a design to it, so I don't mind it at all. But this is all absolutely lovely, and you're going to make sure you keep your hands nice and clean because you don't want to dirty it. In terms of storage as well, we've got the two-tiered sort of centre console. That is built very well. That is not going anywhere. We see this a lot in vehicles nowadays, and we've got USB and USB-C charging points there. We've got wireless charging there for your phone, and we've got another port, well, place for your passenger's phone as well. They're not left out, which is fantastic. And in terms of storage, we've got a couple of cup holders there, and we've got a nice big centre console, bit of storage there, and you open it with a button, and look how responsible that is. You click on the Mazda button, vroom, that is gone, closes, and that sort of textured leather material is absolutely gorgeous on the inside of this car. Let's talk about the infotainment system. 14.6 inch infotainment system, touchscreen, and very, very responsive indeed. You've got your driving modes on here. You've got absolutely everything on here. Heated seats, ventilated seats. You've got your climate control on here as well, and all your apps and all of your drive assist. You can turn them on, off, and do what you want. And what I'm really impressed by this is how responsive it is. It's literally like just using your iPad at home. No lag whatsoever. I've also got a bit of a driver display. It's got everything I need on there. It's not the biggest, but it's certainly not the smallest. We've definitely seen smaller, and it's got everything I need. You can change the way that looks as well, and you can have your maps on there, and it will make sure it tells you your drive mode, your charge in terms of percentage, your range in terms of mileage, all of that sort of stuff you've got on there, which is not a given. We know there are some that are a little bit lacking, but Mazda has made sure you've got all of it there for you, as well as your infotainment system. A couple other things that I mentioned. When I say everything is on the infotainment system, I mean everything. Obviously the heated seats, we're even talking about mirrors and sort of wiper blade sort of speed and all that sort of stuff. It's all on the infotainment system. So you're going to have to get used to this before you do any driving, because it's going to be pretty important. But there are some cool things about this as well, and let me show you them. So I mentioned this infotainment system, and this car pretty much has everything. It's got something really cool. Now you go to the sort of vehicle settings and everything like that. It's got cabin comfort. We've got absolutely everything in here. But you click on something called cab monitor. Now I've got a camera up here, and there's gesture recognition. You can turn it on, turn it off, just in case you do it by accident, which I've done. Okay, so if you do this, at the camera comes up, there it is. There's me, cameraman, smile. Bosh. Look at that. But there's not only that. You can then pause the radio or pause your Spotify or whatever it is by doing that. And it will tell you it's paused. It also, if you want to then play, you do that. Song played with gestures. This is unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic. You get it to answer you get it to mute when it's, so you get it to answer with that, you get it to mute with this. I mean, you are going to look a bit funny in traffic when the person's next to you, you're doing that, and you're doing that, and you're doing that, and you're doing that, but why not? I mean, is it needed? Yes, it is needed, because it's really cool. I mean, how much fun are your kids going to have with that? Right, back seats. Right, we have a thing with electric cars, because of the floor and the way it's situated, is that our legs don't exactly go flat to the bottom of it. But this is not too bad at all, and I can get my feet under the seat in front just about, which again is quite rare in these electric cars. But we've got a nice flat floor, and we've got lots of space, and I'm pleased to say that full leather and suede Alcantara feel is in the back as well. Now, a good thing about the back seats, we've got some things that other cars don't necessarily have. We've obviously got some vents here that we have. That's not groundbreaking. However, what is quite cool is that I'm able to operate the pan roof that I've got here from the back. So I'm able to press this if I wanted to get a little bit of sleep. I don't have to have my section of the pan roof open. I can close it from the back. How cool is that? Also, to let you know, you can operate the passenger seat, whether it goes forward or back, from here. So say, for example, you've got some passengers in the back here, and for some reason that would be, you know, sometimes getting in, you need to adjust that. You can adjust it from back here. You don't have to, the driver doesn't have to reach over or do anything. It can be adjusted from back here. Isofix points. This is going to be a family car for a lot of people. We have clips, not zips. The clips just come out though. You have to clip them back in, so once you unclip them, where they're going to go? I worry about these getting lost. However, we've got clips instead of zips. I prefer that. Very accessible, very easy. And interestingly enough, we do have isofix points on the passenger seat. So if you want your child up front with you, you can have it. And finally, we do have a centre armrest with 2 cup holders. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the amount of space, and I didn't do my headroom, did I? So if I sit back, I've still got quite a little bit of headroom, even though this has got that little bit of slope to the design. And usually that interferes with my headroom. Not on the Mazda. Right, let's talk about that important battery stuff, because I've got some news for you. Now, it's been reported, and it's very true, that there are 2 battery modes with this car. You've got the bigger battery, 80 kilowatt hour battery. You've also got the smaller one, 62 kilowatt hour battery. Now, obviously the 80 kilowatts got a little bit more range, 345 miles compared to the 300 miles, but it's substantially slower in charging and actually doesn't give you much more performance. The 0 to 60 on the smaller battery is around about 7.6. 0 to 60 is pretty much the same in the bigger battery, so you don't get much more performance, and it's slower charging, substantially slower as well, by around about sort of, you're looking at 40 minutes compared to 25 minutes, so it's actually quite substantially slower. However, in the UK we are going to get a singular battery. They are going to condense both and give us a singular battery that is going to be a meet in the middle kind of option, which is good news. I think it means they're going to maybe right those wrongs and make sure that we've got fast charging as well as a good range, which is very, very important. Right, let's go on to the drive. Now, there is not a 4-wheel drive option in the Mazda 6e. We have rear-wheel drive only, and I actually think that lends itself to making this a very, very fun car to drive, as well as it being very smooth on the road. In terms of the steering, it's very light, but in sport mode, again, very, very responsive. We've driven it a lot today on country roads, and it handles them perfectly, and dare I say it, it actually makes it feel a little bit more fun. We all remember rear-wheel drive monster saloons that were very fun throwing it into corners, and this actually brings that out a little bit more so than the all-wheel drive saloon cars that are out there. But it drives absolutely fantastically. When driving as well, in terms of visibility, this is excellent. Visibility out the back, I guess, is quite a small rear sort of screen. However, out the front, absolutely perfect. And I've got every kind of driving assist that you can want on here. Obviously, I've got blind spot assist. I've got the sort of braking, regen braking. I've also got lane assist, everything that you can want, and you can adjust them before your journey and as well whilst you're on your journey to make it the right drive for you. In terms of statistics, as I mentioned, it's not exactly express pace. There's lots of cars that go quicker in this range. Obviously the Tesla Model 3, and you've got the BYD that we drove a couple of weeks ago. You've also got the Ioniq 6 that will go a little bit quicker. But in terms of road presence and a cruising vehicle, like I said, on the inside of here, you actually feel like you're thrown back into that sort of cruising saloon vehicle that perhaps my dad drove a little bit, and I'm taken back into that comfort mode that I think is very underrated in cars like this. And I think in terms of a smooth drive that actually is a little bit fun, I've got all the speed I need. I don't need to go to 62 miles per hour over 8 seconds at all. When putting your foot down, you do feel the 258 brake horsepower. It's got enough to get off the line in and around town driving. But remember, this is quite a substantial car. But I don't actually feel it's too cumbersome. When I've been driving it around, it's light enough to make me feel at home with the car. I'm not struggling and sort of hauling it around. It is very, very responsive and very light, but also has that fun element. Now, in terms of efficiency numbers, it is going to be in keeping with a lot of the other competition. We're looking at around 3.7 to 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour, and that is, I guess, not exactly groundbreaking, but it's certainly not at the bottom of the ladder either. So it's absolutely bang in the middle, and I think considering anything around about sort of 4.5 is absolutely spot on for a vehicle like this. We have got a bit of performance still, and it is quite a lump. So that is it. That is the Mazda 6e. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. I cannot get over this interior. I think it is a throwback, and I'm going to stay in it, not only because it's cold outside, because I love the car. But do not take my word for it. This is going to be turning lots of heads on the road, but is it the electric saloon for you? Get down to a Vertu dealership, test drive this, you will not regret it, and we will see you again very soon for our next car.